Jesus shows up. That's the first miracle. In your notes, Jesus is present with our physical well-being. You see, that's the first miracle, that Jesus shows up on this day with this crowd of people. And if you've been following Jesus long enough, maybe you've experienced this a number of times as well in your own life. Jesus shows up. And so because you've experienced that again and again and again, guess what? You've come to expect that from Jesus. When you're in a place of need, Jesus shows up. Well, of course he's going to show up because that's consistent with who Jesus is. But what I hope you understand is you can expect something without you taking it for granted. You can expect something with Jesus and it's still a miracle. It's still a miracle that Jesus does what he says he's going to do. Look, there are a lot of things that I expect. Like every morning when I wake up, I expect that I'm going to turn to my left and I'm going to see my wife laying down next to me. I expect that. But I promise you, I don't take that for granted. Every morning that I see her laying next to me, I recognize the blessing that it is. I recognize the miracle that God has done in our lives. Like Jesus showing up on this day, yeah, we should expect that because he's good. That's what he does. But just because we expect it, it doesn't make it any less miraculous. You do any kind of a study of Near Eastern religions, and you'll find that this is one of the things that makes Christianity is so unique. The divine taking on human form, inhabiting the flesh to be with the people, to show up. And he's here on this day not to help people escape their physical well-being, their physical lives. He shows up to help them understand how to live into the physical. I will tell you, one of the best ways that you can determine what a person values is just simple geography. Geography can communicate value. We find ourselves physically located to the things that we value the most. Think about, if you're a parent, think about when your child was brand new, when they were born in the hospital. Think about that moment. You're in the hospital room with your brand new baby. You want to be right there with them. You don't want to walk away from them. You don't want to leave the room. You just want to stay physically connected to that brand new baby. Why? Because you have such a high value on that life. You want to be physically connected with them. And think about the moment, the first moment you had to have a real physical separation from your child. Maybe it was the first time you and your spouse got to go on a date after your child was born. Or maybe it was the first time you dropped them off at pre-K or some kind of school. Whatever it was, that the first experience you had where you were physically separated from your child. Think about how painful that was, how difficult that was to just kind of take a step away. Why? Because we physically want to be close to the things that we value the most. Jesus leaves heaven and he comes to earth not to just spiritually be connected with us. He could have stayed in heaven and been spiritually connected with us. He leaves heaven, he comes to earth so that he can physically be connected with us, to show us, to remind us of the value, the goodness of God in the physical. But not just anywhere. Not just anywhere. I want to point out where we find Jesus in this particular story. These people, this crowd, the 5,000 that are surrounding Jesus, at the beginning of chapter 6, we learn these people are sick. These people are impoverished. These are the people in need. These are the types of people that Jesus finds himself with. Look, God is omnipresent. God is everywhere all the time. But the moment that Jesus takes on flesh, guess what? He's got to make a choice. He has to make a choice where he's going to position himself physically on earth. And the choice that he makes, he chooses to position himself with this crowd of people in this way. He chooses to position himself in the place of the greatest need.